Hello and welcome to this additional lesson on administrative roles. We will examine the most commonly used roles, specifically the team's administrator, who, like others, will be designated by the administrator or global administrator and will have operational powers. This means they will be able to create and delete teams, as well as manage the global settings of the team they oversee. They will also have the power to create, allowing you to create teams and all objects associated with a team. Therefore, you will be able to manage the OneDrive environment, which is created simultaneously with the team, as well as the notebook in OneNote. However, you will not be able to manage the applications located down here. So you won't be able to open a plan in Planaire or a site in SharePoint, let alone the applications related to the platform, like Power Apps. So let's start by seeing how this is configured. The permissions, just like for all other active users. We are including this participant in the event. Manages roles. Let's say we want to give this person access to the management interface, and we choose Teams Administrator. Then we save the changes, but I won't be doing this all the time. I was saying that the Teams Administrator creates and deletes teams, so he can create them from scratch, and then we will see all the configurations he can manage. So, let's go to the Teams interface to see how to do these things. Next, let's open Teams, which I already have open, and here I have several teams that are also useful for other training courses. And we will take this Cardiology Congress that we saw in the previous lesson, and which includes all these channels dedicated to the participants of the Congress event. The Teams administrator can first create a team. Then, he connects to Teams, and although he is not part of any of its teams, he can click here to join or create a team. He clicks on Create a Team. He can do it from scratch. To create the Cardiology Congress, click on these three dots and select the Manage Team option. Here, all aspects related to the team can be managed. For example, the pending requests as well. I don't have any right now, but if there were pending access requests, I could approve them as the team admin. Then the team's admin manages the team members first. As you can see, this team has 45 members, including one owner. Riccardo Dominici and the other 44 are members. They do not have the powers of the owner. Thus, for instance, they cannot add another member if I wanted a collaborator whom I could obviously revoke at any time. This authority is to help me manage the team. I could say that I want to convert this member into, so I click on Owner, and their manager becomes one of them. An owner of the team like me. Obviously, I am the only one who can remove him, and he cannot remove me. For me, I will be the one who can bring him back to a regular member as he was before. That said, let's examine the actual settings concerning the powers of team members, which means what those who are part of the team can do. Thus, the team administrator manages all settings from this tab. Starting with the simplest ones, for example, the image can load a specific image of the equipment. Other components. On the other hand, the important configurations are those that can be assigned to members. Here, as you can see, we will explore all of these options. Office 365 provides us with specific configurations. By default, it reflects how a computer should typically be configured, but not always. That is not always the case. It depends on the circumstances of the participants and the topic. So regarding the member's authorization, this is where the administrator and the other person involved. We need to form a team to handle all these aspects. I assigned the role of owner, so they can manage all these aspects. For instance, enabling members to create and update channels. Here's the brand itself, so all members, everyone you've seen here in this list with this brand, can create and update channels. If I remove this brand, Obviously, they will no longer be able to do that. For other topics related to creating personal channels, including for staff, Privacy Channel 2, which will be presented next. I also have a clear second comment. In any case, you presented it in Welsh. I also have a clear second comment about them that you noted. You no longer delete them, or is it possible to modify them or not? So let's say that when you've registered them, you can modify them or not. Once you've registered them, you can no longer change them. Next, here are the permissions for guests. Here, Teams already imposes certain default restrictions. If I had placed all the markers at the top to indicate that members could also do these things, here he didn't do it. Allow guest users to create and update PEPs. It's up to me to say yes, I want to allow it. It will not be the default. Allow guest users to delete channels. Next, here we have the mentions. What do the beautiful mentions mean? When I want to send a message to the team, I then go to the General channel. I start a new conversation. I send a message. I can add a base arrow, and it already suggests creating one. Mention. For example, I could also mention a whole group. I could mention the whole group of cardiologists from the Congress. So here, we handle whether or not to make mentions. So select who can use the mentions. I could specifically use the mention arrow base followed by the team name and mention the entire channel or just the cardiologist support channel. Thus, it shows the members the option to add these mentions to your favorites. So in this case, it defaults to me. Yes, it's definitely useful when you can also mention an entire group. However, it may also be necessary that this may not be possible. Next, we have the code for the team here. In this context, I can also create a code to join the team. I also reset it, and it creates another one for me. Then I copy to enter the team without asking for permission. I paste it here and join the team. Then we return to what we had before. Settings, we saw the code. Here, there are fun elements like emoticons or other things. I can set a moderate or restrictive configuration. The restrictive configuration will allow me to use fewer adhesives. Next, here, there is also the option to specify who can manage the labels, because they can also be created. This @ symbol that you saw previously, which precedes the mention, precedes something that already exists. Because I have already created the Cardiology Congress group, but I could create a tag with only 3 people. Because I only want to mention these 3 people, because I need them for my work. For example, we need to arrange the Congress lunch at a specific hotel. I will involve the head of the event agency, who is responsible for lunch, catering, and the hotel manager, who is overseeing this event. And it's convenient for me to communicate with them quickly. So I will create the label. Office 365 did not create it by default. And so here it specifies who can do these things. Clearly, those who cannot do it. Therefore, only the team owners can do it. Or, all the owners and members of the team can do it. Clearly, guests are not even expected to have these privileges. So here it is defined who has the power to create and manage labels. And then there is the shift application, which always remains configured by default. But it can also be removed, as it is used for work shifts. However, it is a detail that would be lengthy to explain here. We just need to see how the team administrator assigns all these 6 powers to ensure that within the team, in some way, those who are not supposed to say certain things cannot say them. We completely prevent her from writing, and she must not see what is outdated. He mentions it in the other channel. Thus, this channel should be set up as private instead of public. It depends on the organization of the company and the activity being performed. Therefore, there is no specific rule. However, whether or not to check all these boxes, all these aspects. So, let's reach the end of this video here. The lesson on the role of the team's administrator is now complete. And I will wait for you in the next lesson.